I'd like to welcome you to another video from the shop. My name is Brian and this is Prosper Woodworks. If you're new to the channel and like woodworking both with and without a CNC, please consider subscribing and click to turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I post new videos. For those who are already subscribed, thank you. Your support means more than you know. Okay, this is going to be my hopefully last video on these inserts. They're now to a point where I'm happy with them. They do everything I need and they're as sturdy as I can make them or leave them, depending on how you look at it. If you saw my last video, you noticed that I had the inserts, my pocket running full length, just like this. The only difference, it was more sturdy because of the pocket not going all the way through and all the way to the end. And what I realized was I was trying to copy this, but with a zero insert, with a zero clearance, and taking out the adjustment holes through the top. If you use the adjustment holes through the top, you could easily drill holes for them in these. I don't. Once I get it seated, I don't want to see the holes. I don't need them. That's just me. And since I'm making them, that's how I did it. But copying the factory insert was not the best idea. It worked. I'm still happy with them as a version 1, but if you'll notice what I have now, version 2, the pockets are a lot smaller. The reason being, if you were to put this in with that full pocket, this is the only section of the blade that's going to prevent you from being able to make that first cut through the insert. So I just narrowed the pocket down to the length needed. I still have the dado. I have my single blade. This is good for regular and thin curve. I've still got the one for the riving knife. This is the riving knife without a cut. Hedgehog is just there to hold everything up because I was using it. But this also takes out the need for the 8-inch blade insert. The 8-inch blade had no pocket at all. I have 8-inch dado, I still use this one. But the reason being is in order for you to use your 8-inch blade, you're going to have to cut through it anyway. Now that the pocket is smaller, there's no loss of integrity on either end. Your blade's going to go up through that part. So I just stopped trying to produce those. They're easier, they're a little faster, but the point is pretty moot when you realize you're going to have to cut through it anyway. The one with the riving knife, we do have a gap in the back. I've already raised this blade to its fullest extent, and if you'll notice, the hole in that riving knife gets closed up when you raise the blade all the way up, and that is as high as the blade will go. Once you get past your riving knife, unless you've got some extremely tensioned wood or curved wood that's going to snap back, once you get past your riving knife, you're past where your blade can pick it up, so you should be good anyway. But that's really the reason that slot's got to be cut through all the way back there. When you put it on and you see it'll go on and off, no problems. It's flush. But when you put it on the first time and you see that gap, you may start to wonder, and that's why. There is no riving knife option on the dado, because if you're using a dado set, you really shouldn't have a riving knife on there. But this is version 2. Works the exact same way as version 1, just more sturdy because I didn't make the pocket as long. I stopped trying to replicate this, and I think I got it to the point that I've improved it. and they are now available. I'd still like to give one away. I'll see what I can do about that. There's a contact form on the website if you want to, if you really want one without a pocket, all you're ever going to use is 8-inch blades, and you want one without a pocket, let me know. You can use that contact form to do so. But I may take a look at some of the orders that I've already gotten, and after this video is released, put in a giveaway somehow. But I was asked on this video why I showed me making these with a CNC when not many people have a CNC. Couldn't you show how to do it with a router? I could. My last saw, I did make it with a jigsaw and a router and a lot of sanding, but I have a CNC now. And I could this be done with a router? Yes. Could it be done with a jigsaw? Basically, what I would do, take your factory insert, cover it, wrap it in tape. Because if you put this insert in, it jiggles a little bit. That tape will give you clearance. You could take a 1/2-inch MDF and run a pattern bit around it, flush trim bit, after you use your jigsaw to cut out the rough shape. That would give you this part. Drill your hole, you use Forstner bit, or any bit really for this hole. Forstner bit would work for these, and the router would work for your pocket. Again, I'd still only router out what you need. The only part of this that would be a little more difficult without a CNC is the lip. The lip doesn't have to be, this narrow, but this gives the clearance needed while retaining the integrity of the side of the insert. So you make it too wide, and this is liable to break. Right now, that's pretty darn sturdy. I would not want to try it with anything other than a router, but a router table would probably be better if you could set it up to just clear off that, run it on your table. I wouldn't want to try it with a router itself. But that's why my video was about CNCing, because I've got one, and there will be videos that I do where I do it on the CNC and manually, because I do still do most of my stuff manually. But if I can do it on the CNC and get a production line done, that's what I'm going to do. My last video had cam clamps and why I think we can do better. That was setting up for the first production run of these. So if I can get it done faster and quicker and easier, no matter how much work I have to put in on the front end, that's what I'm going to do. But just know that, if you want to do it by hand, everything can be done by hand. For years, everything was done by hand. So there's absolutely no reason you couldn't use a chisel to do all this. If that's what you want to do, have at it. I just went the other way. I got a new CNC, got a new table saw, use a CNC to help me with my table saw. So this is version 2. That's the only one that I'm making available for sale. It's on my website, prosperwordworks.com. And now I'm going to be moving on to better than your average cam clamp. Till next time.